Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. I'm a former brick and mortar store owner turned retail expert who is passionate about entrepreneurship and has experienced the highs and lows of running a retail business. Whether you're a seasoned retail veteran or an aspiring store owner, consider me your guide on this store owning journey. If you're looking to run a profitable and growing business that doesn't drain you, follow my 6 stages of shopkeeping and subscribe to this show. Join me for a journey of continuous learning where protecting your mind, maximizing profit, and determining your own schedule are a priority. Get ready to work smarter, profit more, and grow your retail business. Welcome to episode 245 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. Overcoming negativity in indie retail. Love it or hate it, but it needs to be said. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. Today's episode is going to be longer than my usual episodes, but I really feel compelled to address a topic that's weighing on many store owners right now. The negativity and doom and gloom that seems to surround the indie retail space. I'm going to read part of an email that I received recently, and I'm going to circle back to this quote. So it's important that you actually hear the details of this message. If you're already multitasking, and I know some of you are, just pause to listen to this. This person that sent me the email, she said, "Why do consultants not address what to do when things slow down? I mean, you do a pretty good job, but on social media, store owners are really struggling mentally. And I do too on some days. It has been so freaking hard to stay positive. I would like to hear a podcast about the small business struggle that is everywhere and how to address it. Do you post on your business that you're struggling? Or I should say, do you post on your business page that you're struggling? Do you shame people for shopping on Amazon? I come from a tough love family, so I'm putting on my big girl panties and trying anything," she put in all caps, "anything I can think of to stay afloat during this time. The slump is temporary. It will go up, but who knows when." So that was the end of the quote. I know many of you have seen and heard so much of this. Whether you're experiencing the negativity firsthand or just absorbing the negativity that's swirling around, especially on social media, with businesses closing and the overall messaging, it's hard not to feel weighed down by it all. I probably follow thousands of small business owners, both brick and mortar and non. So yes, I see and hear it too. First, I want to be really clear about this because this episode is going to trigger some of you. And in the end, if you unsubscribe or unfollow me because of it, I have to be okay with it because I am firm on what I believe here. But I want to first say that I am not dismissing anyone's struggles. If you're going through a tough time, I see you, I do. I'm empathetic to the challenges you're facing because I've had many of those moments too. Running a business can be hard, period. Does this mean your struggles don't matter? Absolutely not. Your challenges are valid. But what I've learned is that perspective is everything and how you navigate them. At this point of the episode, I actually had a bullet point to talk about why this is all happening. But I think I'm going to save that for a future episode because it's just too much for this episode. I already have a ton to say. So for now, let's talk about the myth of patterns, and I'm using air quotes when I say patterns. Let's address something that's critical to understanding a bigger picture here. The struggles we face as small business owners often follow what we may view as patterns. The pandemic, inflation, election years, seasonal slumps. These aren't new challenges. Well, I guess the pandemic for those of us in this generation, that was a new challenge that we've never faced before, but they've happened before and they'll happen again. What remains consistent is this. Whenever I ask a group of store owners how they're doing, I'll poll in master shopkeepers, have conversations in groups, whatever it is. Some will say they're doing great. Some will say they're doing okay, and some will say that they're struggling. It doesn't matter if I ask that question in January, July, or December. It doesn't matter if I ask that question while the economy is booming or struggling. Someone is always thriving, someone is always breaking even, and someone is always treading water. And of course, someone is always fighting to stay afloat. Here's why. Hard times in entrepreneurship aren't anomalies or patterns to decode. Hard times are your baseline. So hear me out here. Most business owners brace for challenges as if they're like temporary disruptions in an otherwise smooth journey. But what if the struggle isn't the exception? It's the rule. What if navigating uncertainty, making tough decisions, and then adapting to those constant changes were just the foundation of entrepreneurship rather than obstacles to overcome? When you shift your mindset to see challenges as your baseline, you stop waiting for an easier season, which we're always hoping for, and you start building a business that thrives despite difficulties. You refine your processes, you strengthen your resilience, and you make strategic decisions that prepare you for the long haul. So instead of treating hard times like they're setbacks, you learn to operate from a place of consistency where problem solving, resourcefulness, and innovation are everyday habits, not emergency measures. This shift, I think, can change everything for a lot of you. Instead of burning out from unexpected struggles, you cultivate endurance. Instead of fearing obstacles, you expect and plan for them. Success then isn't about escaping the hard times. It's about learning to succeed because of them. And what I'm hoping for, just by saying that, I'm hoping even if it just one person is like a little mind blown by that, but I'm hoping more than one person, more than one of you is now considering a different way of viewing all of this. Part of the purpose of today's episode is why I won't perpetuate the negativity. Number one, it's not productive. Spending your time and energy focusing on how bad things are won't fix the problem. In fact, it can make things worse by creating a mindset where you feel powerless to take action. It just isn't productive. Number two, it creates a ripple effect. And that's part of what we're seeing now. Negativity is contagious. I wanted to say contagious AF for those of you that know what I mean, but I'm not going to swear on this episode. When one person starts to spiral, it can drag an entire community down, and I refuse to be the voice that contributes to that spiral. In Master Shopkeepers, I have to be very careful about this. I don't want to be dismissive, right? Like, I don't want to dismiss people's feelings, but when you're building and nurturing a community of business owners for growth, the emphasis on growth, tone and posts and comments matter. For example, early on as I was building the Master Shopkeepers membership group, the one piece of negative feedback that I received from people who were exiting was the negativity from some members. Nothing else. That was the primary piece of feedback. So I went on a mission to fix this because those who join Master Shopkeepers are growth driven. They know that they want to be surrounded by like-minded store owners. They know they thrive when their mindset is strong and positive and everyone else around them, that's the same case. So we worked really hard at implementing rules and boundaries in Master Shopkeepers to help maintain a positive vibe in the group. That doesn't mean we ignore bad days, moments, and struggles. We share a couple of prompts in the week, or one in particular, Monday Mood, so that we can kind of contain those conversations. It gives you a space to go ahead and vent and sometimes whine, because we all whine. I whine too. So it gives you that space, but it was really important for us to change this negative feedback around. Number three, it's not the whole truth, meaning the negativity that you're hearing, that isn't the case for every retail store owner right now. For every store owner who's struggling, there's another who's doing well. It's important to acknowledge both sides of the story so that we don't paint an overly bleak picture of what's happening in our industry. Number four, mindset matters. I know, I say this all the time. You knew this one was coming. Your mindset is one of the most powerful tools you have as a business owner. If you let negativity take over, it will affect how you show up for your business, your customers, and for yourself. because what you think creates your feelings, not the other way around. We think how we feel is what causes our thoughts, but it's pretty eye-opening when you learn it's the opposite. So if you're thinking, Kathy, does this mean I can change how I feel with a simple thought? Yes, 100%. If you're in Master Shopkeepers and this topic is weighing heavily on you right now, visit the Mindset module. There are quite a few lessons that teach this concept and members who have turned everything around when they binge this module. There are quite a few lessons that teach this concept, and I have seen members who have turned everything around for themselves and their business when they binged this module. This episode is brought to you by Master Shopkeepers, my mastermind group for brick and mortar retail store owners. If you're craving support, connection, inspiration, and motivation for your retail business, apply to join us. It doesn't matter what stage of shopkeeping you're in, what matters is your drive to work less, profit more, and grow, both personally and professionally. Learn more at savvyshopkeeper.com/group membership. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/group membership, all one word. Number 5, you will start to tell yourself lies. And you're probably wondering how, Kathy. I have lots of examples, especially over the past year, about this. But let me share 2 just for the sake of keeping this episode a little bit shorter. Example 1, I had one store owner who kept focusing on being down 10 to 15%. This was real in her mind, very real. We started working together, and as we dug deeper, she discovered that she was buying less. Guess by how much? 10 to 15%. It wasn't necessarily that her customers were shopping less. In addition to her mindset, what was contributing to a drop in sales is that she wasn't buying as much. Now, is it apples to apples? Maybe not, but I think that's an important thing to know. And I don't think it was a coincidence, right? Her sales are down 15%, but she was buying and bringing in 15% less in inventory in her store. Example 2, the store owner I quoted at the beginning of this episode. She said, I'm trying anything I can to think of to stay afloat during this time. So this particular store owner had scheduled a coaching call with me, a 1-hour call. And that's why she sent me an email in advance to prepare for her call. As we started to unpack some of the questions that she had around her own business, it became clear to me that she was not down at all. In fact, her business is up. To top it off, this is a store owner that I have known for years. And she showed up on this call more confident than I've ever seen her. It was pretty incredible. I had to pause her and comment on this because she wasn't even aware of it. Like, she didn't even see it. And I think part of it is because she was letting herself get wrapped up in the negative rhetoric that was surrounding her. This was probably the biggest aha moment that validated why I had to record this podcast episode. She was telling herself a lie. Both of these store owners were telling themselves lies. Not intentionally. We don't do it intentionally to ourselves. It's just what happens. So you might be wondering, what can we do instead? And I think that's important, is I can talk about what's happening, but what can we do instead? Number 1, focus on what you can control. You can't control the economy. You can't control inflation, election cycles, pandemics, none of it. And you certainly can't control what other store owners are sharing on social media. And 1000% you can't control your customers. So I recently posted a graphic on social media that said, it's not your customer's job to shop with you. It's your job to make them want to. I wasn't quoting anyone else. Those were my words. And we'll go ahead and link that Instagram post in case it's something that you want to save for yourself. We will link it in the show notes. When we're disempowered, we blame. So many store owners are blaming their customers for the state of their business. Let's stop trying to control them and instead focus on what we can control. And here are some things that you can control. You can control the way you show up for your customers. You can control the quality of your products and services. You can control your marketing and outreach efforts. That means you can actually choose to stop shaming your customers. You can stop the Amazon talk. You can stop the complaining. This is not serving your customer. This is serving your struggling mindset. You can control, which leads me to the next point. You can control your mindset and attitude. You can use your data to support your decision making instead of using your emotion to make those decisions. Now, I know many of you are visual, and I got certified as a life coach, not because of the title and certification. I've mentioned that before. I really don't care about that. I invested in certification for the tools so that I can use these tools to teach and guide you. One concept I love and appreciate is the pool concept. Yes, like a swimming pool. Let me explain. When I personally think of this concept and I envision a swimming pool that I want to swim in, it's super clean. It doesn't have garbage in it. It definitely doesn't have poop in it. It's incredibly clear, and I can see the blue lining of the pool at the bottom. It's refreshing, but not cold. You see, I have a very clear vision for my pool. The pool reflects my thoughts. But when I see other people's pools, what's happening in their minds, and as a result, what they're saying and sharing on social media, their pool is murky and dirty and freezing cold, and it's not a pool that I want to jump into. This visualization process is the tool. When I'm in conversation with someone, it's like I'm at their pool party. I'm standing around the deck, or is that what you say for a pool? I don't have a pool, so I don't know. But I now know that I can actually pause in that moment and step away from their diving board if I don't want to jump into their pool. So what's the gist of this concept? You can stay out of other people's pools. And Danny, if you're listening, maybe it's a pond. If you prefer that you'd rather jump into a pond or dive into a pond like Tim prefers to visualize it. The indie retail space is full of incredible, creative, hardworking people who pour their hearts into their businesses every single day. You are part of that community, and you have the power to make a difference, not just for your customers, but for yourself and for sure for your fellow store owners. Now, I'm not saying it's your responsibility to maintain everyone else's swimming pools, right? That's not your job. I just want to remind you that you have the power to maintain your own swimming pool. Number 2, lean into relationships that do serve you. So sometimes the best way to stay positive is just surround yourself with people who do lift you up. Whether it's a mastermind group, a Facebook community, a trusted circle of fellow business owners, lean on that network when you need encouragement. And if you look around and you find the people that do surround you are bringing you down, maybe it's time to consider some changes. Number 3, take action, even if it feels small. Are you feeling stuck? What's one thing that you can think of to get you moving forward? Take one small step to move your business forward. I'm not saying that you have to take leaps and bounds right now. Whether it's sending a fun email to your customers. Like, speaking of fun, I recently sent an email to my list because I was decluttering my home office and I had 4 leftover printed planning workbooks. It's like our planner, but in a printed version. I sent a simple email to my email list and I asked in the subject line, "Do you really read my emails?" I was just having fun with it. The first 4 people who responded won the workbooks, and I shipped the workbooks for free. This felt incredibly fun to me and so good, and the response was amazing. I think this is the first time I actually had dozens of people respond to my email newsletter. I haven't had that before, and I realized it was because I was having fun with them. So what else can you do? Here's just a list of other things that you can do. So can you brainstorm a new product idea? Can you rearrange your store layout so it feels better to you and feels better to your customers? Can you shift from negative self-talk to positive self-talk? Can you change one thought? So if you're drowning in all the negative thinking, is there one thing that you can think of that you can change? So I have an example of this from someone in Master Shopkeepers. Again, my job as a life coach isn't to teach you what to think. My job is to show you what's happening in your mind. When I help a client or group member see what's going on in their mind, I often ask them, is that thought serving you? Because we can think all the things that we want. But the check in is, does that thought really serve me? Most often, or probably every single time, the answer is no. All right, maybe not every single time, but most often when I ask a client that question, the answer is no. Whatever it is that they're thinking isn't serving them. That's why they're looking for coaching, right? Store owners tell me they don't want to think what they're thinking or feeling. They don't want to be frustrated, sad, stuck, hopeless, or mad. And that's when the work begins. So, one Master Shopkeepers member who I coached on a call last year sent me an email to give me an update since we last spoke. She said, we talked last spring, summer about my money mindset and my fear around spending money, but realizing I wasn't going to make any money if I didn't spend it. This helped tremendously. I went from having a slump of a year, it was our first year without growth that particular year, to rallying in Q4. So the message here is that she changed one thought. She changed the thought of I can't spend money to I'm not going to make money if I don't spend it. It's kind of crazy when we think it can be that simple. It's clear she took action because she told me she did things differently in Q4. But what precipitated that action? Solely changing that one thought. And then number 4, celebrate the wins. I know that seems so simple, but man, like sometimes we just have to think about things that make us feel good, no matter how small. Celebrate your victories. Did a customer leave a kind review? Did you hit a small milestone? A big milestone? Because we know how that is. We can hit a big milestone and then we don't even celebrate it. Did you have a good sales day? Are you taking time to acknowledge and celebrate those feel good moments? Or are you letting the negativity take over that you're not even enjoying the good parts? What is going to make you feel good? And then number 5, choose empathy and not guilt. When you see customers shopping on Amazon or at big box stores, don't shame them. Instead, focus on building relationships and creating an experience that makes them want to shop small, that makes them want to shop with you. I feel that guilt doesn't inspire loyalty. Connection does. Number 6, remember that slumps are temporary. Running a small business is cyclical. This applies to almost all small business owners I know, not just retailers. And it's really what I said at the beginning. Like, what if you just considered this your baseline? It's not just you. There's nothing wrong with you. This is being an entrepreneur. The sooner we come to terms with this, the better. All right, so it's time to wrap this up. You can make a choice about how you respond to challenges. And I want to share some of my own examples of how I do this because, again, I am also a small business owner. I also go through these things. So here are 3 things that I do. Number 1, I choose to look for solutions. This is something that coaching and probably my husband have taught me. When I find myself complaining about the same thing over and over again, I now know it's time to find solutions. Otherwise, I'm going to keep myself in that just vicious circle of being stuck. I have a history of blaming circumstances for being stuck, but what was usually keeping me stuck was my thinking. I was often disempowering myself. So now, instead of doing that, I look for solutions. 2, I choose to stop thinking whatever it is that's keeping me stuck. And I replace it with a different thought so that I can this is the key thing, so that I can take different action. So if you think about it, if you keep thinking that one thing over and over again, the action you take from that's what causes the vicious circle. So now I replace that thought with something else so that I can take different action to lead me down a different path. No one, and if you have kids in the car right now, if you're listening with kids around, especially little ones, pause. No one wants to hear me bitching about the same thing repeatedly. We're adults. We're small business owners. We're scrappy. We're savvy. We know what to do, even though your brain may say, I don't know what to do. And even when times are hard, which leads me to this last point, is that I choose to move forward with courage, even when I'm terrified, even when I'm afraid I don't know what's going to happen next. And I know you have all heard me say this, but if I look back at my timeline, it took me decades or, over a decade to make a decision about my career path. And then it took me a long time to make another decision, another decision. I am now building that muscle where maybe what took me years might take me months now. And sometimes it might take me a day because I am tapping into myself and my own thinking versus worrying about what other people are going to say, listening to the negativity of other people. I am empowering myself to make these decisions. I know this isn't easy. I know there are days when it feels impossible when you're running a business, but I also know that you're stronger and more resilient than you give yourselves credit for. So love this message or hate it, but I had to say it. I'm genuinely believe that if we commit to supporting each other and we commit to lifting each other up, boosting ourselves up, and then helping other people see that you can do that too, it's inspiring. I want you to focus on what's possible, even when there are seasonal or situational fluctuations. You, my friend, have the power to empower yourself. That means letting yourself and others disempower you. Become a master of obstacles, not a victim of challenges. Whew, man, I feel like that was a lot. And if you stuck to the end with me, I appreciate it. If you're crying, I wish I could give you a tissue. If you need a hug, know that I'm sending one virtually to you. Here's the thing. I will do my absolute best. I'm tearing up. I will do my absolute best to keep you in the right mindset, even when it's hard, even when the love feels tough for me. Why? Because the alternative, getting stuck in a cycle of negativity, is often the thing that will sink your ship. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, I don't even know if I mentioned links to anything in this one, but if I did, or if we link anything else that could be helpful, because I've done so many podcast episodes on mindset, we will try to link them. And again, if you're in Master Shopkeepers, visit the mindset module. I can't stress it enough. But if you do want to find links to anything I mentioned, visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 245. And by all means, share this podcast episode. Like, I don't care who you share it with. If there's a small business owner that you see struggling with this, share this with them, because I promise you this can be life and business changing when you start to do this work. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.